Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Sharon Achim Sewing Tutorial. Please do not forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't, like my videos, and also recommend my channel. So today I'll be making this square neckline cut out sleeve or cut out thumb opening. I really don't know the right thing for this, but it's a cut out sleeve. So let's just get straight to the video. So we are going to start off by folding our fabric into and getting our dress pattern. So I'm going to do a quick run through of this because I already have a tutorial where I made a dress pattern. So I'm just going to leave a link so you all can go check it out. And it's a very gorgeous dress and asymmetrical one sleeve dress. So I'm just going to make a run through of this, and then when we get to the neckline, I'm going to slow down and explain it better. So this very tutorial has a basic gown pattern, so you all can just go check it out. If you haven't seen the video on this dress, please go check it out. That dress is bam. So back to the tutorial. Let's just do this ASAP. So like I stated in my thumbnail, I'm going to be focusing more on the neckline and on the sleeve. So to get this square neckline sleeve, I used a 4 by 6 inches. So the width was 4, the length was 6 inches. But if you want your cleavage to sew, you can always go down. You can go as low as 8 inches if you want. But I wanted to wear this to school, so I used 6 inches, which was also okay. My cleavage showed. So whatever you want to use, the width of this dress was 4 inches, and it was perfect. So you can always alternate the length of the neckline to your preference. Mine was 4 inches by 6 inches, which I loved. So for this dress pattern, I'll be inserting just half inch sewing allowance because my fabric was super stretchy. And you can see the print on this fabric. Oh my god, this print is lovely. Now that we are done inserting our measurement, let's just cut this out, and we're going to be using the fronts to trace the back piece. So be careful, cut your fabric out. While cutting the neckline, please be careful so you don't exceed the box, you don't pass the box, if that makes sense. Please notch your strategic points, notch the waist and the hip. I love notching those parts because I don't want to make any mistake. So now our back pattern is ready except for the neckline. Now I wanted the neckline of the back to be higher, so I came down by 4 inches. So the neck depth for my back dress is 4 inches, while the front is 6 inches. Now if you don't want that, if you want the front and the back of yours to be the same, just trace out and cut exactly what you have for the front pattern. But if you want yours higher, you can reduce the neck depth if you want yours higher. So like I did for the front, I notched my strategic points. Now let's just cut the sleeve. Normally I use 26 inches for my sleeve length plus 1 inch hemming allowance, but for this sleeve, because I want a thumb opening, I wanted it to get my my knuckles, so I used 30 inches plus 1 inch hemming allowance. So you can do the same, just measure your sleeve length and add an extra 3 inches or 4 inches allowance. So the next thing I'm going to do is to insert my elbow measurement. So from my shoulder to my elbow is 14 inches. This part is not really necessary, but I love doing it because it gives fitting at the elbow. It makes my elbow free. So next thing, from the shoulder line or from starting point, come down by 4 inches. This is going to serve as our armhole cover. We're going to do our armhole manipulation here. Oh my god, please like this video if you haven't, subscribe and share your thoughts in the comment section, please. So now all you have to do is to insert your necessary measurements, your round armhole or your bicep measurement divided by 2, your elbow measurement divided by 2, and your knuckle measurements, because this sleeve ends at your knuckle area, so you're going to measure your knuckle divided by 2, your knuckle area divided by 2 plus your ½ inch sewing allowance. So just do this and add your ½ inch both at the elbow and at the starting point. My son, it's time. So it's time for the armhole, to get the armhole opening. So rule a straight line like this from the starting point to the end of that point. I'm about to do. So you have to measure this slanted line, and whatever you get, you're going to divide it by 2 and distribute it equally. So at this point, you just have to keep your eyes glued to the screen, because I really don't know what I'm saying anymore. Let me go over this again. So measure that slanted line. Now whatever you got there, divide it by 2. So I got 8.5. I divided it by 2 and marked. So at this point, this very point, the first division, I'm going to go by 0.75. So from this point, the point where I went up by 0.75, I'm going to measure it to the end and divide whatever figure I got by 2, and I'm going to insert that figure like so. So after dividing this, I got 2.125. From that 2.125, I'm going to come down by 0.25 inches and then connect. So I'm going to connect the 7.5. Then from there, I'm going to go below down to the 2.5. Like I said earlier, keep your eyes glued to the screen. Hope you understand this. So I'll just cut out the sleeve and go easy on the curved parts, the armhole curve, then you notch. So we're done with our sleeve. Now this is what our dress pattern looks like. We need to cut an interfacing for this. So fold your dress pattern into 2, get an interfacing of your choice. So you can use the same fabric for interfacing if you want, and if you don't have enough, you can use another fabric. So the length of my interfacing, I actually wanted a very small interfacing, so the length of my interfacing was 2.25 inches, because I didn't want it going down to my bust parts. I just wanted a little. So I'm just going to show you the outcome of the interfacing. After cutting out the interfacing, I placed it on my fabric and sewed the sides by 0.5 inches. So you can face right side on each other or anyhow you want it. Then from the shoulder down to the neckline, you're going to sew. So I'm done sewing it. After sewing this interfacing, I went ahead to snip the sides, the shoulder side and the both shoulders. And the excess allowance I had, I faced it on the interfaced part and sew down. So after lining our neck with the neckline with interfacing, this is what it looks like, smooth and clean. Now we have to sew the shoulders down. So right sides of this material facing each other and the interfaced part facing the interface part, you're going to sew the shoulder line like so by 0.5 inches. So ensure that the interface part is together with the interface part and the fabric is together with the fabric, if this makes sense. So after doing that, I'm going to sew the side by 0.5 inches or whatever inches allowance you added. We are down to the last part of this dress, the sleeve, the thumb opening sleeve, remember? So I'm still going to tell you to keep your eyes glued to the screen, because this part is something else. So from the hemline of the sleeve, coming by 1 inch or 1.5 inches, whatever inch you're going to use to hem that part, just like this. So I used 1.5 to hem that part. So this is our thumb opening. I think I'm going to use a piece of paper to recreate this part for a better understanding, because I found out that I lost most of the clips. So I'm just going to use a paper for better illustration. So just keep your eye glued and keep your ears open. So guys, this is what I meant. So this is our entire sleeve length. Now this is the part that stays at the knuckle area. This is the part that goes to this part. So from here to here is 1.5 inches, which is the folding part, the part where we are going to fold in. I really have to re-record this part. I'm sorry about the noise. Yes, I found out that the first record was not really detailed. So now this is the folded part. This is the folded part. I came down by 2 inches. So from here to here is 2 inches. This part is untouchable. Now from here to here is 3 inches. As you can see, from here to here is 3 inches. Now this place is going to serve as a thumb opening. So what we're going to do is we're going to snip this place. Now this is going to serve as our thumb opening. Now we're going to mark 1/2 inch inwards. I just want to open this up so you guys can see what. This is my sewing allowance. So this is me closing it. This is it. So now remember, this is our thumb opening. This place is closed. From here we're going to go in by 1/2 inch. Now you can also go in as inward as you want, but I really don't want, so like so it's okay. I'm going to repeat the same process here. I think I'm just going to repeat the same process. So I've repeated the same process on the 2 parts. So now we want to sew. So this is what we have. This is from here to here is our thumb opening. So now we want to sew. We're going to sew by 1/2 inch. Remember we added 1/2 inch, so we're going to take that 1/2 inch in. We're going to sew down to this point, top stitch, then this part will be free, then we're going to come back in and sew from this point down to this point, top stitch. So top stitch here, top stitch here, if that makes sense. So here is mixed up as so now I'm folding the hem to sew, just like I showed you in the paper illustration. So this is the hem, all done, all beautifully sewn. This is what it looks like. So I'll go ahead and fold in the thumb opening and sew it by 5 inch. Oh my god, did I say 5 inch? 0.5 inch. So this is what it looks like, all folded in and sew. It's clean, it's beautiful. Now fold your sleeve into 2, insert your measurements. Remember, we're using your knuckle measurements divided by 2. So sew in that 1/2 inch allowance. So from the hem we're going to sew down to the 2 inches. That's the beginning of the sleeve of the thumb opening, top stitch. From the hem, sew down to the beginning of the top of the thumb opening, then you top stitch. And remember, the thumb opening has to be open, hence the name thumb opening. So at the end of this thumb opening, we're going to sew again. I keep hammering on that thumb opening because it's a thumb that has to be open, because your thumb has to go through it. So leave it open and sew down to the armhole opening. So this is what the thumb opening looks like. It's gorgeous, right? So you can see where the sleeve length is at your knuckle. If you think your thumb opening is so wide, you can reduce it by maybe 1 inch or 2 inches. And if you think the sleeve is too high, you can also fold it in and still sew. Your choice, baby. Your word, baby. So we are down to the final of the finest. Okay, that does not make sense. We are down to the final part, inserting the sleeve to the dress. So I believe you all can do this. I think I've done a tutorial on this, but I don't know, for the sake of for our sake, I'm going to repeat the process. So remember the notched part of that sleeve. Yeah, you're going to join it to the shoulder joining. Yeah, shoulder joining of the oh my god, so the part where the 2 shoulders are joined together. Please and please do not forget to turn this dress inside out before sewing the sleeve to it by 0.5 inches. After sewing the sleeve to the dress, then you hem the end of your dress, the hemline, you close it up, and we are done, baby. We are done. Let's try this thing on and see how it looks. As you can see, this neckline is perfect, the thumb hole is perfect, everything is perfect, and it sits beautifully on this gorgeous body of mine. So do not forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, follow me on Instagram at Sharon_. See you next week. Bye. Love you all.